My name is Andrea Mendez, and I will be talking today about mandatory vaccinations. And I would like my audience to agree that vaccinations should be mandatory, but today I'm going to be using this outline for the persuasion speech. So, in the U.S., there have been many debates over vaccinations and whether or not they are needed for the safety of public health. We have all seen that arguments plastered all over social media such as Facebook and Twitter. But the question is, why should vaccinations be mandatory? Do vaccinations serve a purpose? And should I be vaccinating my own children? I was curious, seeing as I was a child who was vaccinated. The allegations that vaccines are not safe struck me as absurd, so I have done some research of my own. For so long, vaccinations have been a must because of the diseases that might be contracted if not vaccinated. But now, the eradication of some diseases have disrupted that urgency that was felt before. Now, I would like to explain why vaccinations should be mandatory for the well-being of our society. I will discuss several reasons. First, the safety of vaccines, how vaccines prevent illness, how vaccines prevent epidemic outbreaks, and the benefits of vaccines. First, let's look at the safety of vaccines. Many people are opposed to vaccinating their children because they are unsure of the vaccination safety. A main public concern is that people are afraid of contracting the disease when being vaccinated. But Patricia Netsley, who wrote Should Vaccinations for Youth Be Mandatory, states, in vaccines using viruses, formaldehyde prevents viruses from replicating, or multiplying. Additional studies show 90% of all childhood vaccinations are effective. Many parents are also concerned with the dosage a child receives at such a young age. But according to Netsley, when a vaccine is given, the first shot provides 50% immunity. The second shot, an additional 25% immunity. And by the third dose of a shot, 90% immunity to the disease being vaccinated against. Preventing illness can be achieved by a continuation of vaccinating. Vaccinations are scientifically proven to provide immunity and prevent people from contracting disease. Although vaccination has decreased the rate of deadly illness, the continuation is key to maintaining a low deathly illness rate. In the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, unvaccinated children are 22 times more likely to contract a deadly disease. Because of deadly diseases such as smallpox, polio, whooping cough, measles, and mumps, and tetanus have declined by 95%. Let's take a look at how discontinuation of vaccines could take a turn for the worse. The declining rate of vaccinating could result in an epidemic outbreak. According to the Centers for Disease Control, viruses and bacteria that cause vaccine-preventable disease and death still exist. And they can be passed on to people who are not protected by vaccines. Many people who are not able to receive vaccines, such as people who have cancer or other illnesses, and babies who are too young to receive certain vaccines, rely on herd immunity. In other words, they rely on the immunity of others around them. Lastly, I will talk about the benefits of vaccinations. Vaccinations have benefited this country by eradicating some deadly infectious diseases. This country has come a long way since the invention of vaccinations. For instance, before vaccinations against rubella began, 90% of infants were affected before birth. Rubella causes many birth defects and can result in infant death. Another example is polio. It used to be a dreaded childhood disease, and it also resulted in permanent disabilities and sometimes even death. The article, Many Deadly Diseases, states that to date, polio has been eliminated from the Western Hemisphere and the European and Western Pacific regions. In summary, vaccines are needed for the safety and well-being of today's society. It is proven that vaccines are safe, vaccines prevent illness, Vaccines prevent epidemic outbreaks, and vaccines provide many benefits to today's society. Let's go back to the original question of the day. Should vaccinations be mandatory? Many people of today's society say no, it should be a free will. But taking into consideration of today's discussion, vaccinations, I believe, will serve the better purpose of the safety and well-being of our friends and family.